Hello. Oh, snap. Let's do this. Yes. Yes. Why, yes. All right, Danny Vega, you are first. Oh my goodness. How you been? Let's get ready. Let's switch it up now. Oh my, oh, what the hell? Why are all the timers like hidden right now? Is this like in seconds? Suddenly my bots are just like, hello, let's just throw everything at you. Okay. All right. What's up, Danny Vega? I mean, my bad about the bot spam now. Suddenly it's like, it actually makes me wonder, is this thing set up? Let me just double check something. Is this in seconds or in minutes? It's in minutes. That's funny. It's showing up like literally everything is just like blasting right now. Okay, anyways. Today is a very, I don't want to say it's a very special edition of Star Citizen, considering we're now streaming kind of a test run on a Tuesday. But we are going to do virtual photography today. And for today's run, we're going to use a preset for today. So today's preset is, oh, hold on a second. FOIP needs to be fixed. Let's look straight forward. Okay, so we've got a new little thing here. Boop. All right, so you can see the calibration window. Ferk, what's happening? Ferk is YouTube chat. It should be. Oh, hold on a second. I have to switch this little guy here. Well, I mean, it should be. Multi-stream should be running. Go ahead and send it something if you see something. But yeah, switching up. Okay, you see the FOIP window calibration behind you. Let's switch up with facial recognition. Should be working now. Interesting, it doesn't do head. It used to do head tilt in the character creator. But we are using, there we go. Yep, I see it. I do see YouTube chat, test. So right now, for this one, we're using ABG version 3. And the only thing that messes it up is because I'm using glasses. And you know, for the longest time I've been doing this without glasses. Now since I'm getting super old, and so now I need to wear glasses. But you know, once I get once we get vision, my vision check, maybe I can get better contacts. Oh, Interesting. That's, you know what? That's actually weird because in social, whatever the hell it's called social stream? Social Stream Ninja. It's like YouTube isn't showing anything, which is fine. YouTube fetching user ID, BTW response message user not found. What the heck? Whatever. It is working though, and thank you so much. All right, let's get to work. So ABG version 3, we're using her for today's photo virtual photography session. I'm kind of thinking we're gonna be looking around, possibly. Let's see how much we can do around Levski, and then we'll probably go back to Crusader, because I am kind of liking, you know, the whole atmosphere around there. So let's try and see if we can get things done that way. Let's go switch to our overview. Oh, okay. I've got the big FOIP window up here, so you can kind of see if I calibrate what it's going to look like. We can toggle that off. All right, let's head in. One of the things we got to do, and this isn't going to be a very rough, out of order instructional stream today. We're going to do, oh yeah, we're going to be starting the timer now. Let's see if that works. Yep, this is going to be a 3-hour stream, hopefully. I've got my Nescafe Gold. It tastes pretty good. Not gonna lie, this is supposed to be like my my bridge coffee before I get my shipment of usual coffee, because I'm out. Anyways, like I said, this is gonna be kind of a non-structured but instructional video on how we do our virtual photography. Really, the first thing is understanding where you want to go first. Where are we headed to take pictures? Right now, I'm in Levski. I have medic gear on, so it's gonna be. This is gonna be kind of bulky for what we want to do. And this is not really what I want to wear for, you know, actually taking pictures. Especially if you're going to go to Crusader. You know, in Jeez, okay, now it's like getting... This is... Yeah, we're going to go location scanning. We're going to do recce. I think in most video circles, a recce is, you know, it's like where you kind of do reconnaissance. Or recon, or whatever you want to do. Location scouting is basically what it is. We'll do initial calibration. One thing to note, if you want your character's eyes to be more open during a shoot, calibrate it with your eyes half open. So when you open your eyes to its normal opening, it'll be wider. So I kind of do that now. Let's see. I'm gonna do partially closed, and then calibrate. Now when I open my eyes, when I open my eyes normally, character's wide awake. Also, I may have accidentally pursed my lips, or I may have accidentally smiled, so that when I went and I kind of normalized my mouth position, I can show that here. If I normalized my mouth position, it actually pursed my lips on the character. So if you want more of a duck face look, you can do that. You just kind of you do a half smile and then you calibrate from there. As and now if you want to go back to normal, always do a neutral face. Unless this character always kind of had sort of sharper, sharper features. All right, this is kind of good. Now that we have that squared away, I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera, preset it for shallower depth of field. So I'm gonna hold down F4 and tap the home key repeatedly until I kind of get the amount of blur I want, not too much. This is going to be equivalent to, I don't know, an f2.8 if you're zoomed in. This is kind of zoomed in right now. And then to fix any kind of sharpness on the model, you can adjust using numpad arrow key forward, up and down, which basically moves the camera in and out until that critical focus gets to be sharp. And usually what you're looking for is on a person, especially, you want to get the eyes and the eyebrows as sharp as you can, because that's kind of like, if those are out of focus, it's like everything else looks out of focus. So that's kind of where you gotta pay more attention when you're kind of doing these things, unless you're trying to do like a particular effect. So if, for example, you're trying to do more of a persona type look, obviously your eyes are sort of like the window to the soul, and so you want those to be as sharp as you can whenever you do it. So this is where you kind of go in and out with the camera. And this is F4, holding down F4 and arrow keys up and down to bring the camera forward or backward until you see like the eyelashes, the eyebrows come into focus, and then you know that your critical focus is correct. The only thing that could affect this, though, is the position of the camera. So if you move the camera around, for example, sometimes the distance of the camera from the face affects what's in focus at that point, because as you hold down the Z button and you spin the mouse around, that affects where the camera is located. It goes around in the circle around where that camera is located. So it's basically an invisible camera that's floating in space. And as you rotate with the Z, holding down the Z key, and you rotate around, that basically rotates the area that's being filmed on an axis. And, you can also move it up and down like this, using the forward on the mouse key while holding down Z. That'll kind of move it around that axis. Now, if you move the camera off center, like holding down F4 and then moving left and right, that's obviously going to change the position of the camera. So when you spin the camera, it actually changes, it actually goes around like so. And you could tell it's already like moving this camera out of focus here because it was no longer centered. So that is something to take into consideration. So when you're doing your initial focuses, you probably make sure that you're square up with the character and then center the camera as best you can before you do anything like focusing. Then no matter where you go with the mouse, you'll always be in focus. Then you can achieve movements, especially like when you're walking. For example, if I'm walking forward like so, hit F4 for the close camera. If I'm doing something like a tilt from above and I film this, I can have her walk, then hold down the Z key and move the camera as if, we're basically creating a scene there. And that's not quite for photography, and that's more for like actual taking video, which we do kind of a lot here. We try to make We try to make it a little bit more cinematic in the way they move. We can do that again. Also, when you're calibrating, where you look on the screen with your eyes is where the character's calibrated eyes will look when they're looking straight ahead. So if you look at the camera when you're calibrating, that's probably not a good idea, because naturally when we're playing the game, we're looking kind of forward, below the camera line. So if you calibrate it to where you're looking at the camera, when you're playing the game, FOIP will make it seem like your character's looking down. So that's one thing to consider. So when you're calibrating, it's best to try and look maybe a couple inches below where your webcam is located. Right now, my webcam for this particular use for FOIP is on the top of my monitor. And, you know, just so you know, sometimes FOIP will get out of calibration. And so you have to reset it. Like, so it's kind of off right now. It just happens the more you use it. So what you do is, and I'm going to kind of put this on the screen, you basically hit the numpad star, and that resets the calibration. So okay, that should be correct now. Hey, what's up, Orbital Outlaws? My VoIP? Alright, we'll turn that off. Always seems to get your beard. That's a tough one. Beards are really tough. And, you know, it could be that if you have a beard, the best thing to do is make sure, number one, that you have really good lighting. Number two, you gotta probably go as high res as you can. So if you can fix your settings in the game under FOIP, and when you pick your camera source, try to pick a higher resolution. So here's, I mean, if you're using a webcam, it's gonna be faceware. So go with MJPEG, of course, because that's the most efficient camera encoder stream from your camera, not YUV, because that actually taxes the system more. And try to go as higher res as you can, so that the engine that pulls in your face gets more detail out of it and can pick out different things like your beard. If you got an OBSBot camera is really good. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going any higher than like 60 FPS. Just because it may compete with like the rendering engine of the game, and I don't know if that will cause performance issues. But for example, me, I went down. I actually picked a lower resolution but a higher frame rate, just so I could pick out the minutia of movements versus like higher res, because right now I don't have like a lot of things which may cause the system to see something else. Now, if you want to play with FOIP and you do have a beard, and I want to see if anybody else has done this. Something like, I want to say like putting on makeup, but literally you might have to mark areas on your face with something else like tape, if you really want to make this work. Just so CIG's engine can find the edges of your mouth. As you can see in the picture, it's looking for your eyebrows, it's looking for the corners of your eyes, the shape of your nose, and the edges of your mouth. And that's what it's tracking. All right. Let's get to work. Yeah, if you want to start doing character voiceovers, especially like, you know, if in scenes of emotion and whatnot. Hold on, I think we can do this. Like, for example, you turn on external view rotation, and then you lock the camera. And then when you lock the camera, your character you can actually use your head to turn the character's head. In something like this, you want to have more interesting lighting, so.
I don't have the voice to voice over. But I do have thoughts in my head that I need to get off my chest.
Yes. So, turning the head while keeping the camera locked is literally under key bindings. And if you go under advanced controls and you go to VoIP, it's called enable/disable head tracking for third person, and it's a toggle. So it's usually unbound, and I have a keyboard toggle on mine. Right now, I just set mine to like right control numpad 0. That locks the camera head tracking for third person, but it allows me to do head tracking. It actually allows me to head track and still move the head. So the difference there is, of course, I can move my head like so. But if I unlock it, let's say I unlock it, now I can do something more interesting where I can move the camera. It will move the head slightly, but it's more pronounced. It's more pronounced in the camera movement. And it's useful probably from a wider angle, because you can do something like so, where I'm starting up here and then I move my head down. I can control the position or the tilt of the camera using this. Or if I'm doing a sideways movement, I can say, I can start over here, move the camera this way. So you can do all kinds of things. Works well when you're doing a flying movement, and that's kind of hard to do. You have to, if you combine a lot of key movements, you've got to like hold down certain keys. Like, for example, walking forward, I hold down the W. Holding the Z will rotate the camera, and this is kind of hard right now because I'm running into furniture here, and that's another problem with the camera. If you're running into furniture, then that causes like the camera to clip. Well, actually, the camera is not allowed to clip, so it goes around objects, so it ends up jumping. The camera jumps around. You have to kind of avoid those things. But I can demonstrate it when we're in a larger room. When you combine all the things like the Z key and your movement key and your head tracking, you can create shots that are pretty dynamic. Almost as if you had a drone flying from around the ground, coming up and in front of you and then going around in another direction. So you can achieve that using using the head tracking that's in VoIP. I wonder if we can do it here. It's a little bit more room. We don't have a lot of space though. Are we gonna walk? I'm using the Z key. Alright, that didn't work out very well. Let me try something else. Let me go wider angle. like so here. We're starting from low on the ground. I'm using my head to track the camera. So the camera is slaved to my head movement. I'm using the Z key to do a general rotation. But yeah, this is not gonna it's not gonna work. There's just too much stuff inside here to knock into. But for the most part, you can control tilt. You can control tilt with your head movement. In fact, you can do things like tilt is also an interesting movement. You can tilt the camera from left to right to create kind of a psychedelic rotation. Like so. All right. You find yourself searching for SC Advanced Cam Controls? Yeah, you know, I tried to do that a lot in Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, I found, you know, I try to take, you know, some pics there. All right, let's see. Okay. Let me know if you guys are seeing any kind of weird issues with the stream right now, because it's like it's like complaining of like connecting and disconnecting, and I'm like, what the hell is going on now? I'm like, literally, the system is not even working that hard. Both seem so okay so far. Yeah, that's so strange. We're still pushing like the usual 6 megabit per second. So okay, just making sure. I mean, I am gonna monitor that very carefully. Okay, first things first. We gotta change clothes. If we're gonna do a photography mission, we need to find clothes that we can afford to lose.
Stand clear of disembarking passengers.
For the most part, if you want to take unique pictures, you wear unique clothes. Just understand that when you're on the live build and you lose your clothes, you basically you lose your special clothes. You'll lose them for the remainder of the patch, until CIG has, like, you know, a better way to recover stuff that you do own with real money. And until then, you just don't risk anything. Okay, not here. Although, you know what, this is an interesting place to take pictures. I feel like if I want to take some interesting pictures, I would probably figure out a way to get into that area, and I would be wearing industrial clothes. But this is supposed to be I think this is a beauty shot mission. Okay. Now we know that back there, there's an area of the elevator that has no atmosphere. That sucks. Okay. Folks, we need, like, I don't want to, I mean, we could do this in armor. But if I'm going somewhere like Crusader, I don't want to be somewhere where I'm going to be wearing armor because I look like I'll be standing out, you know? Unless we break out our Crusader armor, at which point we'll look like an off-duty soldier, which is not the worst thing, because if we're going to be in Crusader, then we can kind of play it up as if we were off duty. What the hell is this? Let's flip this person over. Is this a worker? Oh no, what happened here? Did this NPC die? Huh. Alright. Maybe Cordy's has got some you know, armor that we don't have to worry about losing. Why is CIG needs to like reset all the NPCs every once in a while because they end up in a state of fear. It's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you guys? Okay, we'll need some kind of an armor set. So the plan is we don't have a lot of things here. Too heavy. We could go desert. If we go desert, then we need an undersuit that matches. That's the only thing. We need to have stone skin, I think is the best, would be the best undersuit for that. For the female character, I would go with stone skin with either lynx or... Alright, let's see if that works. Kind of a weird color choice though. Stone skin or scale weave. She can be rough. She looks kind of rough right now, so we'll go with scale weave. We'll buy scale weave undersuit. We'll go all light armor. Torso is going to be not Lynx Aqua, that's for sure. Calico. There we go. Calico Desert. Let's say we have to come up also with the story of why they are who they are. Why is she in Crusader? Maybe she just wants to see how all the how everybody else lives. Darn, they don't have you know, Lynx. There is a set of Lynx arms that they don't have here. I think maybe you can get them from Grimhex, or you get them from Pyro, unfortunately. Calico arms and helmet. You want to go with the because we're trying to make this so you can kind of get the facial expressions. Calico Desert doesn't really help. So this is probably not the place to pick out this set of helmets. Alright, backpack, we'll need a light backpack. So Arden CLL. We'll have to go with that for now. Okay. Alright. Not the best combination, but when we're doing things like this, you know, it's like it's gonna need to be about the photo and not about, you know, all the other choices we make. So we can get by with this. What I would do to keep it safe, at least, so we don't get everything mixed up, we'll go to our ship and we store whatever we're wearing in a box. Everybody's scared. What is everybody scared of? Perk, is everything still going good? Just want to make sure. I'd be getting that. Well, what the hell's going on here? Hello? Are we playing Star Citizen now on a broken server? Go, 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 go! Get in there! Okay. Very concerning, though, that I'm getting the messages.
The capsule will be leaving the station momentarily.
All right, where are we? Are we there? Yes, we're there. Let's go. Sorry. I'm so sorry to be suffocating you, but that's how they built this place. If I was to do this right, I need to take off my glasses. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see very well without them. Let's go. Wonder if I can see my hangar from here. Thing that sucks is that, oh, well, you know, I do have a hangar. I hope that's something that's been fixed, at least with hangars, in the sense that we'll actually be able to just have them rather than have to, like, put a ship in them and then watch the ship get eaten by the hangar.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Okay, what do we have actually here? Oh. Okay, of course the Apollo. Hell yeah.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
And I believe we have a box in there too. Still good? Okay, great. What am I looking for? It's, you'll know it when I show you the, I'll give you the example, actually. If you go to my old flick, I mean, it's gonna be a similar type armor. It's this set right here. The one I used for this photo. It's the one where you've got basically like cloth wrap around, where there's cloth wrap around the forearm. You know what I'm talking about? And I believe this is still scale weave right down here. This is yeah, I miss this. I miss this look. This is scale weave as an undersuit. This is just a mark. This is the Orc Mark 10, I think. Orc Mark 10 helmet, but it's not desert. This is, oh, that's right, Microid. That's right, the Microid arms. This is the strappy armor, I forget, like the Microtech guys wear. And this is the calico top, I believe. I probably do have all of this stuff. Oh shoot. I probably have most of the stuff at home, which would be in New Babbage, unfortunately. I gotta actually load this into my backpack so I can wear it. And then carry this. Yeah. So I'm a little on my way. I kind of wanted to see how well this ship would fight, and I can tell you right now that, man, I've actually lost. I've lost maybe 2 Apollos in testing on live with stuff in the trunk. So, oof, I've really felt the kind of a financial burn there. Okay, so I think I should have my outfit crate in the corner here. I locked all my doors open so that I would have an easier time running around here. But basically, my outfit is like, take all this, this, and this, and this. Throw that in here. Now, if I was to open the backpack here, I can put this undersuit on, this. And I need a matching helmet. Let's see, I got a backpack. Doesn't quite go with it, but maybe I can get one from from someplace on a station. Just gotta be careful not to just gotta be careful not to die along the way. Backpack check. What happened to guns? Oh, there we go. And we got a gun, and we've got rounds. What? No rounds here? In the backpack. There should be C-54 rounds. There we go. 2 clips. And multi-tool with the tractor beam. Oh, come on. What's going on with multi-tools on this character? You're telling me it's going to be sideways? Okay. At least this is a working tractor beam. Now if I put it away, what happens to the tractor beam? It goes sideways. What a piece of junk. Yeah, hopefully it's just the leg armor. So here's where I would switch to, God, what is the name of that armor set? The strappy armor. They have it over at, like, Hurston. True Def, yes. True Def black gray or black silver. Probably the best ones for that.
Shields are off.
Oh shoot.
Engines are on.
Okay, we are good. We need quantum fuel though. Also, watching 10 Pound 42's this video is on the 4.5 changes to the visual quality of everything in the game. If you're doing photography, I wish there was something like profiles that you could swap. Because right now I'm running like mostly all DLSS and DLLA, and while those help with performance, you know, it may be very subtle, but object detail, object geometry detail, gonna suffer a little bit. So if we wanted to have the rock, you know, the asteroids, the rocks look good, you may have to do something like object, let's see, texture quality, object view, object detail. Between, yeah, ultra, we're gonna probably lose a lot of performance here. But shader quality. Again, CIG, could you please fix these menus? Oh my god. They never actually fix these. Like, whenever you have overlapping menus, they just... It's ridiculous, kind of. Maybe we'll be able to get them over at the Stanton Gateway. All right, there is a shortcut to get to Stanton. You just gotta look over at the cluster of rocks. Oh, not Pyro. That's not where I want to go. I want to go to Stanton, so that would be more towards. Where's that cluster of asteroids? There it is. Stanton Gateway. What 10 Pound 42 is saying is that if you want the kind of the best quality, you would want to avoid upscaling. They said FSR. They said the FSR is kind of trash right now because it's not. It's like FSR 2. It's not even FSR 4. DLSS, DLLA is probably the best quality at this point, but you know there's still a little bit of loss there. Now you could do native AA, which gives you anti-aliasing without upscaling, and that'll kind of trash your performance. But then things should look a lot more detailed. You just gotta watch out on your VRAM usage. That's gonna be wildly affected. Okay, 1 second here. Where is my mouse? We've arrived, sorry. We've arrived here. I don't know if there's gonna be the ships that we are looking for. Oh, look at, I like that. This guy is like spinning around here. See if we can get a hangar in this area. Okay, we'll want to like turn off. We'll just decouple right now and kind of move her around until we get to our